This is one of the negative things that happens when you let Conor McGregor fight Floyd Mayweather. Now opens the Pandora box where more UFC fighters want to cross over and try boxing, or have a boxer cross over and fight them in MMA, because it brings more money and Dana White is not paying them a fair wage, or a wage I think is fair for them. Let's talk about what Stipe said about Tyson Fury in DC. We back, Goodfellas Sports TV. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, bell icon button. Won't miss another video. Share the video, best way to help the channel. All right. And Stipe wants to fight Tyson Fury, long story short. And he don't want to fight DC in a trilogy, okay? He said he liked the idea of fighting Tyson Fury either in the Octagon or a boxing ring. Now, Tyson Fury kind of opened his mouth first and said that he wanted to cross over to MMA after doing WWE. Now, he said he made $15 million to WWE in Saudi Arabia. I don't believe that. But, hey, let's just run with it. So, he wants to cross over to MMA, and Dana White told him that, hey, man, stay in your lane, basically. And Fury's insisted he wants to fight Stipe. And he says he wants to enter the MMA Octagon this year before fighting Deontay Wilder February 22nd, which legally I don't see that happening, because Wilder cannot fight outside of November, because of the Fury rematch is supposed to be February 22nd on pay-per-view in conjunction with Fox and ESPN. Okay, so a Fury-Stipe fight will have to happen after Deontay Wilder fight. Now, if Fury's able to beat Deontay Wilder, and he doesn't have any ambitions on becoming undisputed, because he was one belt away last time, then the Stipe fight will be bigger than ever. But he says that fight intrigues him more than a DC fight. He says that DC beat him with a lucky punch in the first round, and he actually beat DC in the second fight, so he really has nothing to prove, I'm paraphrasing, against him. He says the Fury fight intrigues him more. You know why it intrigues him more? Because it brings more money. And MMA and boxing have brought a fantasy fight to life. People always wanted to know who would win, Bruce Lee, Mike Tyson, or, maybe Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. Now, with Floyd Mayweather and McGregor actually doing a crossover fight, they bring fantasy fights to life. And when you bring fights like that to life, especially with, two white males, which you haven't seen two white males in a big pay-per-view event in how long? Fury's the talker. Stipe is the baddest man in UFC at heavyweight. It's a seller. You know what I'm saying? And it's a win-win. Even if Stipe goes to the boxing ring and get beat up, he's going to make at least $20 million. Especially if Fury is able to beat Deontay Wilder. He's going to make $20 million. And the thing about it is, this is like, for Stipe, it's like a Mayweather-Conor McGregor type of situation. It's like a Mayweather-Conor McGregor type of situation, because Tyson Fury isn't known to be a huge fighter. Now, it's different because in the heavyweight division, anybody can get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? All the men are big. But Tyson Fury ain't really known for a puncher. So I can see, Stipe getting tired like McGregor did and then getting knocked out. But I don't think Tyson Fury going to sit there and play with Stipe neither. He may sit down on some shots. He might sit down on some shots where, and try to get Stipe out of there and make a statement. But at the same time, I think for Stipe, it's just not risk and reward. The risk of losing to DC and the reward is low. You know what I'm saying? The risk is higher and the reward low. With Tyson Fury, the reward is high and the risk is low, because guess what? In UFC, it don't matter if you lose. In the boxing ring, no matter if you lose. When McGregor lost to Mayweather, he was just, if not, a bigger star afterwards. So Stipe want the high reward with the low risk, not the high reward with DC and the low rewards. Now, would I like to see him give DC a trilogy and DC say he want to go out and retire soon? Yeah, I would like to see him, do that. But at the end of the day, come on, man, Stipe, he deserved his payday. But if Dana White wasn't so shiesty with the money, and he paid his fighters better, then they wouldn't have to go out there seeking for a boxing crossover fight for money. You see Tyson Fury this year, he didn't made, I think he made like $12 million a piece for his two fights, $24 million. Stipe may never see that in the UFC. But when you put a lot of money into your sport, it really gentrified the sport. In boxing, they put so much money in boxing, and it's made a lot of prima donnas. Everything that UFC is, boxing is the opposite. If you get a loss, it's over with, because for one, they only fight once, twice a year, and then also it's just seen as really, really bad. In the UFC, you can get, what was it, Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz had like 24 combined losses, but nobody cared. It was a super badass fight. But I don't blame Stipe, but Dana White got a problem on his hand because all them dudes want to get paid more. They see how much boxers getting paid, and they putting in way more work than the boxers. You know what I'm saying? And they say, damn, man, we selling out the T-Mobile. Oh, we selling out Madison Square Garden. But I'm getting $900,000. I'm getting $1 million. I'm like, come on, it's not adding up. But McGregor opened Pandora box, and that's why Dana White didn't want to do it, because he knew that the boxers got the upper hand. He know that they got the upper hand. They ain't got the wild. I got to come to the Octagon. They not paying nothing. You come to my world, you going to get a career high payday. So Fury is the A side, with or without a title. You know what I'm saying? You hear Tyron Woodley calling out Canelo. You hear Jorge Masvidal calling out Canelo. You know why they calling out Canelo? They take half of what Kovalev made versus Canelo, which is $6 million. They may never make that in their whole career. But as a fight fan, would I want to see him fight DC first? Yeah, if you beat DC, then, you deserve it. You deserve it. But Dana White, he got another problem on his hands. And his problem on his hands is that they need a pay raise. Now, would the UFC kind of bond together and say, well, Dana White, you got to start paying us more. Open up the books and show us how much you really making. And it's hard to get anybody to come together. White people, black people. It's hard for anybody to galvanize and stand up and boycott against something. It's hard. You seeing that they're having problems doing that, and even with the union jobs at the factory or whatever the situation may be. But it's at the point where the UFC, they have a problem. And they need to get paid more. You know what I'm saying? But it's different. Because the network deals is different in boxing. You got several networks, DAZN, ESPN, Fox, and stuff of that nature. But to be honest, I'm not knocking it. To be honest, if he want to go fight Tyson Fury, I believe he earned the right to retire and take care of his family. And if Dana White not presenting that in the UFC, well, it's the same thing. If I'm not getting it at this job, I'm going to go get it somewhere else. Or attempt to. And if DC was in the same position, he'd do the same thing if he could make that type of money versus Tyson Fury in a crossover fight. But Dana White, he's a dictatorship because he owns the rights to all the UFC fighters, so he can stop Stipe from going or not. Or he can say, Stipe, I need half your purse. And as a dictatorship, the fans benefit in the UFC. But when you can't control everybody, then it's like boxing. When you can control everybody, that's why I got UFC game and not boxing. Because the boxing game, individually, you have to go to each fighter and get their rights. Dana White owns all the rights to each fighter with the UFC, or the UFC is whole to own each fighter. But at the end of the day, I think Fury knock his dick in the dirt in the ring. In the Octagon, obviously Stipe should be able to win, but if Fury can stay on his feet and land some punches, put it to you this way. Tyson Fury got a better chance in the Octagon than Stipe got in the boxing ring. But I think in their respective sports, I favor each fighter in their respective sport. Stipe in the UFC, MMA, mixed martial arts, and Fury in boxing. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business questions, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Want to make a donation, link subscription. Best way to donate is share the video. Don't forget, we're on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Once again, want to reach out to the email if you got business questions, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. All those links in the description. Let me know what you guys think about the story. I linked the article from Boxing Scene in the description. Y'all know what the business is. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. We gone.